What's up, guys? Just trying to check the volume. Nice. All right. All right. Hopefully, no one lost their count on CPI numbers this morning. Unfortunately, I don't know how well the opening range trade's going to work out this morning since it's pretty much a freaking 200.1 hour candle here. So, I don't know. I would think that as long as this, if we can get maybe a little bump back up above this previous day high, I feel like we can have a sell down. Uh, but I might be in all long up here above this previous day high. So if we get like a little, creating this little bull flag, bear flag here, may to see if we get a breakout to the upside. But I know there's always that possibility that you have to rerun the lows of the previous 4 hour candle. Being a data wick, a lot of times we just sell back down in that direction. So where could we go first if we decided to push up? Man, you probably have to go back a little bit here. Yep. Let me look at another set of charts, one that lets me go back a little bit farther. Let's see. We still got highs way up here that we hadn't ran up into the 900s. Let's see, we just ran the previous AM high from February the 4th. We have a previous uncontested London high up at 512. A lot of consolidation right there in the 440s, 450s area. So it could be a point where we just pushed right up. Well, hell, that's where we're at now. That's why we got stuck. So maybe look for a little push, then maybe we'll get the breakout to the downside. To me, this is going to make it a little bit more difficult just because of the situation with the news. So it's not going to be the same way as far as analyzing your opening trade. I almost want to take it on a different funded account this morning instead of my regular funded account, or the one that were up a lot, just because I don't know how much I like this morning. I mean, you would think that we would be pushing down, just the fact that we just pushed up over 200 points for that news play. Let's see. Let me get my chats over here, guys, so I can see my chats. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. We are trading MNQ, which is the micros of the NASDAQ. And that's because we're trading small accounts. Brandon, we're trading 25Ks and 50Ks, so we trade on micros. We are trading accounts with Bulanox, Apex, and Elusive. All my funded accounts are with Apex and Bulanox. We just started actually trading a Elusive account today. So hopefully we're able to find like a little entry to make a quick buck. We did trade a little bit on this news play, but I was hoping to get a little bit more. We ended up getting, which I was on minis then, so we ended up making like $400 on an eval on that news play. I should have had it all, but my account froze, and so whenever I hit the close button, because I thought it was stuck, it pretty much just locked me out at the 400 instead of being like a one and done type pass. So I was very bullish all the way this morning. I did a little trade. That's what I was just telling Brandon about. I did too, but I only got $400. I should have passed it. It should have been like a pass, but it froze, and so I was like, crap. I don't want to get locked out on the comeback. So I'm sitting here hitting the close button, and it just closed me out for 400 instead of the 1500 that I should have got, because I was long at 60. Like, I was long right above the swing. Did yours freeze too? like it froze. I was like, what the crap? Well, these are evals, Brandon. If you're trading with a few grand, you're probably, are you trading with real cash, Brandon? We're trading with prop firms. So basically, this is basically about the same thing as a paper account whenever I say valuation. So with prop firms, it allows you not to use your own capital. There's a few good ones out there depending on your level of trading experience. I just started a elusive account, and I really like the elusive on the 25Ks. You only got to make $12.50 on those accounts to get it to a funded. Then once you get to $1,000 and they're a funded accounts, I think you can take 500 out, and it leaves you 500 to build back up. Then with the 50K, it's 2,000. So you have to build it up to 2,000. Then you can take 1,000 out. So this would be my first elusive account. That's this one right here where it's got FFE at right here at the bottom. So brand new, just got it this morning. And we're still stacking our fundeds with Bulinox. I think this will be our 6th funded account with Bulinox. The thing I like with Bulinox is you're only allowed to have 3 funded accounts at one time, but you're allowed to stack them. You can have up to 10 or 11. And so what it does, it allows you to buy cheap evals. So once you pass a funded account, so I'm about $500 away. Then after I pass that eval, it kind of sits in pending status where you don't have to pay for it. So you see how it just sits in the pending status? You don't have to pay for them. So the way it works is once you get to $3,600, they'll allow you to activate another one. Then you can have 4, and you can have up to 11 with Bulinox. So I'm about $500 away, hopefully. I don't know if we'll take a trade on this account today just because the market's kind of wacky right now. I'm not a big fan of trading after news after the market's moved up 200 points. What do you mean by tools? Like indicators and stuff like that? Is that what you mean by tools in the charts? So the charts are different. The charts are 2 different companies. So because, to me, you got to have that middleman. So the middleman between my accounts is RTrader Pro. So you have RTrader Pro who records your trades on NinjaTrader, then tells them back to your prop firm that you're using if you're using Ripnik. And it's another name if you're doing like Tradeovate. But yeah, they give you pretty much everything you need. And plus there's tons of free indicators out there for Ninja. And you can you can go to my Discord, and I got tons of free indicators if you decide to use Ninja. And Tradeovate offers so if you go over here, I have just kind of bukus of indicators you can pick from all different types of stuff. Whatever, I guess, works for yourself. The only indicators that I really use is kind of the opening range indicator. So I like looking at the higher time frames, and this way I'm able to see the higher time frame without changing my charts around. So all these little opening range boxes represents this is a 4-hour candle. I have to leave a gap, so this 4-hour candle is supposed to go here, but on this indicator, it won't let me go to 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. So if you do that, it makes it weird. So I have to cut off the last hour. So this is your next 4-hour candle from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. And then these are individually 1-hour candles. But it also tells you where your 4-hour candle is also. So this would be the low of your 4-hour candle now, and this would be the high of the current 4-hour candle that we're in. So that's about all I use that, and I like to mark out the previous day high, low, and close. So right now we're at the previous day high. This is the previous day open, the previous day close, and the previous day low. And so that's about the only indicators I use. And this little swing indicator, and all it does is just kind of tells you where your last swing was. See, kind of marks out your last swings. This way, if it's kind of behind you, you know it's there because it'll put a green line across the whole map. Or you can just log in TradingView and watch your TradingView if they don't have the indicator that you need. Jake, does Bitcoin get like a big bump when it does that? Let's see. Newsplay? No. This is the Bitcoin micros. Nanos, actually. It's Bitcoin nanos. This is silver. Though the silver and gold trend line breaks are just insane to me. It just seems like they're always so consistent with the oh yeah, look at this silver. Had a little silver bump here. I bet you gold will get the breakout in a minute to the downside. I'm just using TradingView. I'm newer to trading. Okay. Yeah, I would always recommend prop firms if you're new to trading before you put your own money into a trading account. Because most new traders are going to lose money. So at least when you're trading prop firms, you know how much you're going to lose. Okay, so you can see how many micros will it let you trade, Jake? Have you looked into that? Well, what you can do is downsize your account and use a smaller account like a 25K. Then you won't really have a reason to use minis and kind of downsize that way. Ooh. Uh-oh. Let me answer my phone real quick. All right, sorry about that. That was the daughter calling, so got to make sure nothing's wrong. Ugh. Well, I'm kind of liking the up to the upside today. I'm not going to lie. Might get a little bump to the upside, kind of creating a little bear flag here, or bull flag. Let me fix my stuff real quick. We still got about 3 minutes here. I don't know. It's hard to say this morning. It's just not really ideal because I feel like the charts are going to be jacked up this morning until we get back to normal. I hope that's not me saying order submitted. No. All right. Yeah, I've lost over the past few months, learning a lot. Not giving up. That's why I'm looking. Yeah, that is a hard lesson that a lot of new traders learn if they're not aware of prop firms. I'd rather learn how to trade knowing that I only have $30 invested in an eval or $100 invested in a funded account. I know that my max loss is going to be $100, but the potentials to make money is still there. But you still have a idea in your heads like how much you're willing to lose. Yeah, kind of like Yahoo down there saying trade evals, start off with the cheap evals, especially if you can catch them at that 90 to 80% off. And that way it'll give you your data because it's still reasonable to use prop firms because it gives you free data, whatever charts you're trading on. So you don't have to worry about paying for the data fees, and it already kind of includes in the account that you're trading. So either way, you're going to be spending money on data if you're trading with Ninja or Tradeovate or whoever if you're not using a prop firm account. The cheapest is if you can catch Bulanox or Apex on a 90% off, then you can pick up an account for like less than $20. And Bulanox would be cheaper from month to month if you can hold on to the account without, blowing it on the first try or over leveraging, because most of the time its renewal is only $15 if they're 90% off. So, I'm real, like I said, guys, I'm not much of a fan I am of this morning. I kind of think in the longs if we get back above 47 here, but I don't know. All right. We're going to be patient and wait today, guys. There's no reason to be in a hurry with this crap because I don't know what's going to happen. Anytime you get some massive move like this, I have no idea. The market is completely off this morning. So I don't feel like getting stuck on back-to-back trades. We're going to trade probably one of our different fundeds today. Let's see. I'm trying to find one that I don't think I'm going to trade the 50K one today. Well, at least not starting out this morning. Let's see. 25, 26. Look at that thing. That thing's just trapping folks on both ends, guys. This thing's just barely pushing up 20 points to the top side, barely 10 points to the downside. So don't get caught up in this choppy mess. We're just going to have to let it settle down this morning. It's kind of like yesterday. Yesterday was a horrible start. And trust me, anytime that we have news play where it's done jacked up the opening, it's best to just stay away and wait for the market to either print its first 5-minute candle and see what happens. Watch that 330 level. I'd love to see it come roaring back through here and just dump off to the 300s. How much time we got left on this? We still got 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. Don't want to get tagged in, so that's why we kind of have that down there below that 21 EMA. Might get busted on this one. Yep. Trying to stay 50% above this where my stop loss is supposed to be. Yep, looks like it's going to get us, guys. I thought once we broke that 400 twice that we would get a push down to at least 490 because I was just looking for the first initial 10 points. There it goes. I was kind of sure about that one. We had our stop loss where it needed to be. Trying to see if this 50 can hold here. I want to hit the 50 level. Come on, 75. I need 75 to hold up. Son of a bee. What's up, fish lips? I was trying to short 400 to that 50 range. I couldn't get my stopping time down. We pretty much bounced off the previous day open there at the 61 level. All right, we'll just have to be patient and wait a little bit more. Uh, oh, watch it. It's going to probably dump now. Just sold your Apple option for the first 5 minutes. Been in there since yesterday. Nice on the options. I know very little about options, Brandon. Yeah, there's the 50. So what we could do here to wait for another entry is to see if we get a pullback and see if we get a pullback into this 15 minutes up here. Yeah, I got stopped out on the, it was just yanking so hard that I got stopped out. That's what I'm looking for. That would be a nice, I would like to short off of that if we can push back up. I've been doing pretty good trading the opening. Yesterday, that same towel candle got me yesterday where it was just wicking really hard. We just didn't get that clean breakout that we were looking for. So right now we're just kind of being patient and waiting to see what happens with the market here. Just kind of waiting to see what if we get some normal looking 5-minute candles. I would really like to see a pullback into this 15 minutes, but you know, some days you just don't get it. Then I wouldn't mind seeing us take out the rest of this big non-farm payroll candle back down at 257. We can pull fib on this candle to see if it's going to stay bearish or not. Oh, sorry. Not sure what that was. How much time we got left? We got 40 seconds left, so I got time to get it on there. We're waiting on the next 5-minute candle here to see what happens. Just waiting to kind of see what happens with that 50 level is what we were waiting on before we drop it. We're looking for the initial pushback down to 75. And I would have to have 50% of this candle holds. If it gets over the 50, 60% of this candle, we won't leave this trade on. I want to say that was a 75 push. Just trying to put my stop word. Oh, damn it. We're probably going to get stopped out on this one. Yeah, we're about to get stopped. I was trying to put it back above that 9 EMA there. What do you say? We go back up to the possible 925s? Gotta have, if 75 doesn't fall here, gotta lose 75. I can't see my. Sorry about this. I gotta move my charts for a minute, guys. I have my camera in the way. Just cleared up the mid. Yeah, that was what, 50% of that previous, the hourly candle that we're stuck in right now. This is a 3 micro trade, so we're just in at 3 micros. The 15 minutes is definitely going to have to be my line in the sand on this trade, guys. So that's the retest of that 15-minute candle sitting up there around the 400 area. So it'd be that 410 area. 410. Man, I had to change mouses today, and this thing's on a struggle bus. What's that? 420. Here's the bottom of our 15-minute candle. Man. And we might have got trapped in a nasty trade this morning, guys. All right, here's my definitely 25 level. I don't know if there's any chance for me to DCA back into this because we've gotten so far up here. Oh, oh my God. That thing got within like points, guys. Holy crap. Come on. Give me the 50 level. We're trying to DCA back into this thing. I should have DCA'd one more time. That would at least get me up there in that 85-70 range. Need that 50 target. Nope. God dang it. I mean, we were pretty much at our line in the sand with our 15 minutes right there. I know I missed my target by just a few points on that last push down. I don't see it surviving this round. That's just it. I can see it surviving one push up, but a second push up is going to be very, very tough here. Yeah, I would like to see that 425 hit or 325 hit. Eh. Yeah, we just fucking printed another candle up there on my other charts. That thing is pointing straight up right now, guys. I'm hoping the data wick saves me here. We need that data wick push. Dude, come on. We already pushed down there once. OMG, guys. We're coming within like ticks. That's dirty. There we go. Holy goodness. That was just insane. This thing's just whipping so hard, guys, that, man, it's making it so tough. This is pretty much like yesterday's price action. I'm going to stay away. I've already kind of got my lesson full this morning. I don't want to deal with that again. I hate whenever I get stuck in trades like that. That's like the worst. I think we're just blessed to get out of that without any damage there. We'll just sit around and wait for a few more minutes. Maybe at the 10 o'clock hour, the market will settle down and make the entries a little bit more cleaner. So pretty much another day without really having a clean break to the, like a good follow through this morning. So it could have just destroyed you on both sides. I can't believe how, like, that previous day open has just been a wall there at 61. Yeah, Brandon, for the longest time, I never trade the opening. We just started trading the open pretty consistent a while back. Now that I'm stopped out, it's probably going to sell off completely to this. It's a lot smoother. Ooh, now she wants to sell off that we're out. That's what she does. I mean, it looks like we're clearly going to be moving down now, looking at my other charts over here. I can't believe that we haven't got that pushed down to the 25-30 areas yet, Fish Lips. Are you still in a short from that 25 up there at 425? Same here. All right, is this going to be the push down here? I kind of like if this candle can print back below in the 60s. Maybe we get a little push here. I'm just glad we only entered that in a few micros and were able to DCA back into that Fish Lips. So that could have got pretty bad. Nice on $1,200 already, man. Shoot, we only made like 60 and 30 in that 400 on the eval. So we're green, but we easily could be very red right now. So we were very lucky to survive that. I still like the shorts to the downside. I feel like we just need to clean up the gaps and those rerun some of those hourly candles to the downside. Is there anybody in a position right now that's stuck in a position or stuck in a short or long? All right, here we go. Let's get to moving here. I want to see some just consistent moving, then get that little pullback, then look for the short. Which one are you talking about? Jake, it says, how do you have a entry box in your charts? Mine are separate. All righty, here it goes. That was that 30 level that I think Yahoo brought up. See if we get a little pullback here. Maybe a pullback up to the 75s. Then you could possibly look into shorting the 50s. It's this right here under chart trader. Look at this thing. Now we want to sell off after we're out of the trade. That's how it usually goes, guys. You know. So 325, possibly back to what? Trying to see if we're going to lose what? We just hit the teens. We still got 250s down there, I feel like. I mean, that's a 21 push. I mean, not a 21, but a push that 50 back up there. Or this is a 800 to 25 push. So hopefully you want to see the 25s would hold for the push back down. Oh, shoot. Oh, I took it on the wrong account. Ah, oh, damn it. I left my damn eval connected over here. Son of a bee. Sorry about that. What the bummer that was. Unfortunately, this is going to end up being an eval trade. We had the wrong account selected. I'd rather just get stopped out. I don't know if we can switch over to our funded accounts in time to grab any more of this. We were looking for an entry all the way down to the 250s. All right. That sucks. All right, let me make sure I'm on my funded accounts. I switched over. I had on two different step ones. Yeah, we're trading lightly on our stop loss because it's just whipping so bad. So we're just taking quick points. I'm only using a maximum of usually a 20-point stop loss for most of my trades. Holy crap, that thing went up there quick. What's up, Timothy? How are you doing? Did I take it on the wrong one again? Man, you did. I still like the target to the downside at the 250. Oh, son of a bitch. Here comes that 50 level. Boy, I done got early to my shorts multiple times today, guys. Yeah, this is the 5-minute charts. But I do take trades on Rico candles sometimes, Timothy. That was a 75 push, so I still expect the overall short down there to fill in, what, 257 at the previous day close. Don't know if we got to have that deeper pull back up to like the 325 here or not. So that's what we're waiting to drop our order. Because that would have been the 75 back to the 300. Here you're looking for another push back down to 50, possibly here. We're trying to stay out of the range. This way, if it doesn't push, we don't get caught up in this. Now, this is a eval trade, guys. This isn't a funded trade here. This is going to be strictly eval. Runner got stomped on that one. We went in heavy with that one because it was an eval, so that's why we were in that 10 micros. We're just looking for 10 points. That's all. We're just scalping 10 points. So anytime you see me putting resting orders like that, we're just scalping 10 points. And we're trading in between whole numbers. So that's why I'll take that trade at 80. We're looking for a push down somewhere between the 60 and the 70 range. So I give myself like that 10 points of range. Sometimes the runner explodes. Sometimes the runner just gets stopped out. I wouldn't have taken that on a funded trade. That was just a straight eval trade. Funded trades, we haven't really done that well this morning. we're still green this morning, even though we had little losses here and there because I took the wrong trade while ago on the wrong account. Remember how I said I was barely at 400 and I just like, screw it, just close it. Yeah, we accidentally took the trade on the wrong account this morning. The one that we just did, the 150, that was that trade there because we went in with 10 micros looking for 10 points. And see, that was another 75 back up to 300s. But now we're just going to have to be patient and wait a little bit longer and see what happens after we just rerun this data high. Check the current ADR. It's about 45 now. Holy crap. I'm taking some of my eval trades on Rico candles. I've mentioned this a few times. So I'm not taking my trades off the 5 minutes at the moment. A lot of times with my evals, most of my evals are taken on Rico candles. And so all we're doing is just buying the pullbacks and shorting. That is all we're pretty much doing. And it takes 3 candles to get 10 points. I don't trade the Rico candles online because I'm not sure how many people like watching Rico candles, so I don't trade them. So I'll show you. So this is why it kind of looks weird when you're looking at it on the charts over here. So basically what we're doing, we're just buying pullbacks on Rico candles with our evals, and it takes 3 candles to get 10 points. So pullback, 10 points, another pullback, you could have grabbed another 10 points because you would have been short as soon as this candle print at the 480s. Same with this one. If you felt like shorting, actually we did. Remember we shorted up there a while ago around that range. Yeah. So that's why it looks kind of weird sometimes. I haven't got to the point where I trade these on my funded accounts, but I do trade Rico candles a lot of times on my evals because your stop loss has to go at the top of this wick. So that's why I got stopped out a while ago on that last one because it hit my stop loss up there. And you're just playing in between the 9 and the 21 on Rico candles. But like I said, I don't really trade these on stream because I don't know how many people want to watch trading on Rico candles. But I just tell people what I'm doing so they know. So why it looks like, why would you enter right there? It looks kind of weird on the 5 minutes, which it does. I also have a reverse indicator on my charts. You use the TPO candles. It looks even weirder. I don't know if I've ever heard of those candles, Viv. That's totally new to me on those. That's why I'm not paying attention to the ATR and how big these candles are. It's just mainly what I see over here on these pullbacks and just looking for 10 points in a runner. Every now and then you get lucky with the runner. But my main goal was to look for the 10 points. So on that one trade while ago, we got 168 on the funded. Not funded, the eval. Really haven't done that much on the fundeds this morning. I've traded 2 different funded accounts this morning, but most of this stuff has been on eval trading so far today. This is the new elusive account that we started today. And so I'm hoping we can find a few more trades for the elusive account. And a lot of times also what we're doing is we're trading between whole numbers. So a lot of times if I get the entries between whole numbers, we're going to take them regardless of pretty much where we're at because we're, trading in between the whole numbers. There's multiple guys in our lobbies. That's mainly most of their trades are the whole numbers. Like they're trading whole numbers into discounted premium. Dude, we just blew up the previous day lay there. Nice if you were able to stay in that whole trade short this morning. If I didn't get in early and destroy myself on this crazy pullback, this should have been your entry right here, back up to this 15 minutes, 50% candle. But I was already in it short, so it made it really hard to see that this morning. So it would have been this move here. This one. Wow. Nice sell. Just blew through the previous day low. Man, I was like, I don't even know how low we can go right now. We can retest the top of this previous 4-hour candle, run the low at 150. So I would think 150. Oh, dude, trust me. I left tons on the table. I struggled this morning starting out. So it was kind of like I was just trying to get out of the trade so early because I was already sitting through so much drawdown that I didn't want to sit through it again. So I was pretty much already out of the trade this morning. All right, nothing to do, guys. Just kind of sit here and wait for some kind of pullback. Fish lips, are you taking the longs off the 25 here? Or since it kind of blasted all the levels or what? Or do you think 50 is actually the bounce here? Because what, 47s is the lows we just reran this 4-hour candle. So I like the bounce here, actually. All right. That was the low off that 4-hour candle. Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to take that long. I was like, you know what? I know Fish Lips took that long. I'm going to step in there with you, Fish Lips. And it ran that 4-hour candle. Shoot. All right. Nice. So that was almost to that 200 level. So that would have been almost 50 points straight back up to the whole number, the 200. Then a quick pullback to the 75. Then if we lose the 75, I would think we get another pushback down into the 50s here. So this little box is the 4-hour candle. And once I saw us kind of pushing away from the 4-hour candle and getting back above 50, so that's what enticed me to jump in long, looking for the 75 target. I still think we're going back down again. You're still long? Are you long off the 75, looking for the 425? Now, if we cannot make a new low here, I may try to jump in back in long with you if we cannot get back above below the 42s here. This could just be the pullback for the rip back up here. If it breaks the 42, we're just going to have to wait. So we're breaking below that 4-hour candle, back below the 4-hour candle here. Woo. Did anybody catch most of the short to the downside? Oh, here's the. All right, so this may be the short here. We're in the green right now. We're on at one eval. What is that? Lucif eval. We're up 232. The 400 we made this morning was from the non-farm payroll. I only have like $30 on one funded because we got stopped out on the early, then 148 on the other. And we took a couple losses here also on the eval a while ago, or on the fundeds. This is my first time using them. Like I only got to make 1,200. That's why I'm trading so small besides that first trade that we took for 10 micros, because I still thought we would be moving down. Man, we're still just pushing here, guys. Like I only got to make $1,250 on a elusive 25K. So right now, every trade that I enter from here on out is going to be 2 or 3 micros. Then I think you got to just make $1,000 to get to like a $500 payout and $2,000 for $1,000 payout on the 50K. They're probably one of the cheapest all in for first time users. You can almost get an account for like $60 all in. Your first time using them. That's for 25K. And I think it's, or no, I think it's $50 for a 25K and 60 or 70 for a 50K. And that's all in. So no activation fee, and you can take as long as you need to pass it. I feel like we need this big retracement for like a 50% move back to the upside. Fish slips, are you taking along at 325 or 125 here? Or are you scaling back in, or are you already long? Yeah, I do. That's why I tell everybody I'm trading evals, Viz or VI. Sorry if I'm saying your name miscorrectly. Is because I am taking a little bit more riskier trades on the evals, and I don't want anybody to follow those trades or be tempted by those trades. So that's why I usually let people know what we're trading, so they don't, mess up their account. Because I understand some people are trading a little bit more expensive evals. Most of the evals I usually trade are usually like less than $30. Dude, this thing just keeps pulling back. Like we had another short entry here at the 36, but we didn't take it because we were like 10 points away from the 25s. Man, it looks like one of these days we're just in dump fest. It looks like 500 here is the key, the previous day low. So if I can find an entry here, we're going to try to target those 950s. That would be your 90 hit. Push back up to the 100. So you think if the 10 to 25 holds here that we could possibly get the push down to those 950s. There's a 25 retest. If the 50 doesn't hold here, we'll take off our short. All right, first target hit. Runner got stopped. Like I said, we're only looking for 10 points, guys. 10 points. Sorry, let me fix my charts over here. Oh, it just left me. I'm over here trying to straighten up my, change my contracts to 2, and it left me behind. No, come on, dirty, dirty. So this was the entry here. Pull back. It held. Pretty much when I start seeing red come into this, we already that's why we kind of had it just sitting down here. We try to make sure that we're going to get the sell back down, get back below your 9 EMA. But we got wicked out by this one little wick here that wanted to come back and get us instead of just following our candles down like this. This is usually the idea here. Just follow your candles down. I'm mostly just doing on evals what I'm doing here. My fundeds, I try to trade more of the opening trade. I think if I was over leveraged, it would stress me out. But you got to think most of my entries today, besides that one and the one we got stuck on, have all been like 3 micros starting out. So we're just not going in super heavy. This way, if it does go against you for some crazy reason, you just don't get wrecked on your account. You'll be surprised how much money you can make off just evals. Like, almost all of my accounts that we're up in has pretty much just been traded off like anywhere between 1 to 5 micros. So like our largest account is sitting at $53,100. The next one down is sitting at almost $1,500. Then this one is sitting at $500. Then these are 2 evals right here. Yeah, the scalping thing used to stress me out too, but I used to go in with like minis. I'd go in most of the time with 10 micros. And, just going in with 1 mini, if you get like 20, 30 points of drawdown, I mean, you're already down like $400 or $500. And it just super stresses you out. What was it I saying that level was? 950 for, man, that 950 could be a nice bounce here. And that's running these other previous 4-hour candles sitting at the previous day close. No, I feel like I messed it up, our good funded trade this morning. We got the setup. The setup happened. The setup was right here. I jumped in premature because I thought we were going to go ahead and run this previous day, this big gap fill in. And so I jumped in early, and I was already sitting through so much drawdown that I just wanted to get out of the trade. I didn't even want to stay in the trade. But this was the setup right here this morning that I usually look for on my fundeds. So here's your high, here's your kind of low, and then you're looking for a 50% pullback into this 15-minute candle. And you can see we pretty much got that 50% pullback. Then that's when it sold off. So like I said, did a very poor job of mismanaging that this morning. But most of you know how it is. Some days you do a really good job at managing your trade. Then there's just those days it's like, ugh. So I know. I feel like I'm anticipating a big pullback here. I feel like we need to recoup and push all the way back up there. All the way back up here to the 200s. If it can't get through these 18s to 20, if it can't get back above 34 here, we're probably going back down. We get above 34s, we should get a nice push here. Because that's going to be making a new swing. Pretty close. Like I said, if you can't break that 134 and we can't make a new swing, we're going to push back down. Yep. I got another short signal there, but like I said, I'm not taking all these short signals because that was another 10, 15 points on that short signal there. This is what we're looking at. See this previous swing because we're just making lower highs, lower highs. If we couldn't break this swing up here, we made a new swing. And so you would have been short again for another 10 points plus runner. So that's why I said if we break those 34s, we should kind of get a new kind of leg to the upside. Kind of rerun back up here to the 9 EMA. I feel like we're so far away from our 9 EMAs. I feel like we need that 100-point push back to the upside. All right, let's see if we can finally break these highs up here and get back up there to the 200s. I feel like if we can push, I don't like the longs unless we're probably, I would like to see us push up to the 50s, kind of pull back, retest the 20s, and then I would like the long. I don't like the long right above the 100 to 110 area. I mean, you know, everybody does your own. That's just me. I'm just trying to wait until we break these swings up here. So the swing for the 5 minutes would be this candle right here. So if you break above this candle, it should start pushing because you couldn't push below this one. All right, we just broke that first swing at the 20 level. All right. Good job on your long. I'm going to be a little bit more patient. I'm waiting. I'm waiting here. I'm waiting for a little pullback to try to jump in real quick. There's your 25. So first 25 hits. If we get through the 50s and get some kind of little pullback, we should get the push up to the 190s, up there to that 90 EMA at the previous day close. So that's what I'm trading right now too, is 2 micros. We're just trying to conserve our profit, so we're going to strictly stick to the 2 micros. Still just being patient. We're waiting. We don't want to get stuck in a entry. So we did get the little pullback there. So let's see. That was almost like a 25 100 retest. So like if you were shorting the 25, there's your pullback to the 300 or 100. So now if we can get back above the 25s, it should continue to the 50. Don't want to get stuck in no nasty long and that thing's trying to go back to the downside on us. Looking for this 50 push right here. We're in this for 2 micros, guys. So the trade's for 2 micros. All right, we could reverse all the way back down to the 25 here, so. Yeah. So that's pretty normal. You hit the 50. You almost, most of the time, will come back down to the 25 here. Nice target. 75 is a good target. I like that 75 target. That's what I was trying to get to, the 75 or even the 90 level. Try to rerun up there to that 9 EMA at 86. I'm actually getting another buy signal. Should be another, hopefully, 10-point buy signal here. There's the 10 points. Trying to stay right under my 9 EMA here. Nah, come on. So close. Yep. Almost up to $300, guys. Almost up to $300. Just taking little 10-point scalps. May have to go back to the 25 here, so watch out for the 25 reversal. There's your 25. So this is where you want to see it kind of turn back around. Did you at least, did your runner get stopped out, VIX? Ooh, this thing's going all the way back down to the 310s. Come on, get back, get back up there. All right, and probably possibly another long entry here. Hope that wasn't a sucker trade there. Ah, shoot. Trying to stay right below the 25, 26 area here. Ah, I just barely wicked it in there. All right, another 10 pointers. Dude, we can just do this all day. So easy. Slapping them 10 points like they're nothing on the scalping trades, guys. Let me get my entry in there. Sweep liquidity at 25.50. Yeah, that pullback got you, didn't it? That thing pulled back pretty deep. There's nothing worse than that crap happens, man. It happens to all of us. If it can hit the 75, pull back to 50, and 50 hold, that would be a nice entry. Yeah, I'm out. I'm not jumping back in. I got about 5 more minutes, then we have to get off a little earlier. I have to run an errand this morning. We've been slinging this elusive account around this morning on these little micros, guys. I don't know if anybody's taking these longs, but every time I call, say I'm getting long, that means I'm getting a long setup on my pullbacks, on my Rico candles, and we're just jumping in looking for 10 points. Every now and then, you'll just get stopped out for your 10 points, but dude, every now and then, you just catch those nice, like 50, 60 point runners. You know, and you actually got 2 entries on this. So you got your entry here and your next entry was on this pullback here. So that would have been another confirmation entry here. So entry, confirmation entry, blast. You have one. Nice on holding the runner, man. I wasn't sure if we were going to get stopped at the previous day close. So that's why I took mine off at 80. I didn't want to battle that possible pullback that we're going to probably get up there around the whole number. So I was like, we're going to try not to leave as many points on the table. So most of my candles that I trade on my normal charts on the Ricos over here for my evals are kind of color coordinated. All I show you is a clean slate. You held today for the dump? Nice, man. I traded I'm not gonna lie, man. I traded the opening horrible this morning. I got stuck in a bad trade this morning. I was down like probably 50 or 60 points. But I was like, all right, maybe the 15 minutes will hold for me. And so we were able to escape that trade this morning. So we didn't really make crap on our funded accounts today. And we actually even had a funded setup, but I was already stuck in it and I was just trying to get out of it. So I was, like you get stuck in a bad, like short or bad long. That's kind of what I was stuck in this morning. And we actually got the setup for our funded account this morning. So look, here's the high. Here's a, not a low, but a lower high. Then we got pulled back into the golden pocket here into the 15-minute candle, which is the 9 o'clock to 9:15. And then you would look for a short out of this 15-minute candle. So we got the setup. I just didn't take it because I was stuck in the trade. So it was really hard for me to see it since I was stuck in the trade because all I could see is like, damn, this thing just keeps going and going and going. So I got FOMO and thought I was going to miss this sell-off. So that's kind of what had me jumping in a little earlier than what I should have. So we got the FOMO this morning. Just call it what it is. We got the FOMO. All right. Like I said, I have an errand that I have to run this morning. Let me send my daughter a text and see if she texts me back here. Got another long signal there, but I'm already a little too late to it. You should have been. I probably wouldn't have taken that one because it's going into that previous day close. I try not to take anything that's going into like a major support level, which is the previous day close. You can see it marked out in green here. If you get above this previous day low, previous day low here, you should start getting a nice push back up there to what, the 250s? You can probably get a retest of the 250s at the 21 EMA. There's your entry. Nice. Did you re-enter that, VIX? Did you re-enter again back at the 250 pullback? Dude, you even got your 250 pullback. That was a nice pullback to the 250. Dude, guys, you'd be surprised how much you can make trading whole numbers. You can trade in between whole numbers. It's pretty wild. You just got to wait for the second push. You want to see it push through it, then come back down, and then look for entry. So the way that I trade a lot of times on the whole numbers is I'll trade in between whole numbers. So this would have been your first push. We never long into the 90 or the whole number on the first push. So you want to wait for your pushback. So that would have been this candle right here. This would have been your first candle to push up into the whole number. And then you got the pushback back down to the 50, which we retested the 50. And then I would have looked for the second push back up, I would have been looking for a long right above 60 and looking for that 75 to get hit. Then the runner would be anything above 75 leading up into the 200. We can pull fib on this and see where the 50% mark is. Right now we're at the 38% pullback of this whole leg. That's what I'm saying. Like if we can get back above this previous day low here, you should get the push up to the previous day close, sitting up there around the 50s. You just took a short off the previous day low. Nice. Are you scalping that, or are you just looking for like 10 points and get out? I use Fibonacci every day, especially on 5-minute candles. So a lot of times we'll take shorts off of 5-minute candles. So that's usually, you can almost get a indicator if we're going to continue down whenever you get these big 5-minute candles. So if you look at this, what this morning was the non-farm payroll. All right, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna have to cut it short today. I have to go run an errand for my daughter this morning. But we will be back tonight for the Tokyo session. Oh yeah, I want to say Tokyo may be closed tonight, but I'm not sure what the market's going to be like this evening. So I guess they're having Founders Day. All right, so the one that I've been taking all these 10-point trades on, we're up 382. Yeah, hey, thanks for hanging out, Vix. Good job on your long, man. What were you asking? What time took sessions? I don't know if I'm not sure if I understand that question, Luke. Oh, Tokyo session. Tokyo sessions tonight at 8 o'clock. But I think if you go to investment.com, I think Tokyo is closed today. Today is their Founders Day. Hopefully the night session's a little bit better, because last night sucked. I'm not going to lie. I sat there for like 2 hours and didn't even take one trade. I copied someone else's trade, actually. Capital that was in the lobby. So we just sat there all night. But anyways, the account that we've been sitting here trading was my elusive account that we just started today. We're up 382. This is basically a lucky trade because this was non-farm payroll. And these are the two funded accounts. Like you see, I didn't make very much on that funded account this morning. I was just happy to get out of that one. We took a winner, but then we took a loser and we lost our profits. So that's why that's sitting at 34. That was that one funded loss trade that I don't remember exactly where it's at, but we did take a losing trade on our fundeds and we lost our profits. So that's why we only have 34 bucks. So, all right. Thank you guys. Let's see. Like I said, we'll be back tonight for London session. I mean, not London, Tokyo. I don't know why I can't